Greetings, friend. What's up? It's another Monday in the neighborhood. Another Monday in the neighborhood. And had a nice weekend of performances. Oh, man. What do I love being on stage? I thoroughly enjoy conducting the vibe. So, just know when you insert me in any situation, the vibes have arrived. Most definitely. So, I just wanted to talk to you about the revelations that have transpired over the weekend. Um, Connected Camping always puts things into perspective for me at the perfect time. And one of the things that came to me was, how can I put this? I just got a text while I was talking to you, and it just threw me the fuck off. So give me a moment to recollect my thoughts again. So yeah, what I was saying is that I just graduated from M.AD school, and what you're supposed to do is get a job in the marketing industry. And now I'm just like, is that for me? You know, I've had many of conversations, some of those conversations you've heard, and I just feel like I'm trying to talk their language. I'm trying to fit myself in their mold. And I know that I am not the typical traditional art director. Like the marketing industry and how it is today, somebody like me is kind of a glitch. It's like nobody knows what to do with me. And clearly there's a reason because I need to know what to do with me. I need to make a decision. And over the years, I've been a jack of many trades and a master of nothing. And I want to be a master at something. I want to be an expert at something. And I was talking to Mr. Wild and Free, and we had a very lengthy conversation about looking at your talents like seasons. And there's 4 quarters in the year. And each quarter can be a different season of artistic expression. And this quarter is about to end, and we're about to step into a new one. And in this new quarter, this is going to be the season of visual storytelling. That is what this season of artistic expression I choose to tap into is visual storytelling. And I'm going to double down on video editing. Um, I've always been into video. I've always been into film and television and production. But insecurity and imposter syndrome is what always kept me from going all the way with it. Imposter syndrome is no more. Insecurities is no more. Now, there is the frustration and the fear of like feeling it's too late, and it's like, damn, I'm I feel like I need to be excellent now. Like, is it too late to be a novice at something? And it's not. It's not. It's not too late. It's never too late to start again. It's never too late to start something. Because if you don't start, you have nothing. And nothing is not an option. So, yeah, I'm here to tell you that the season of artistic expression that we are going to enter is visual storytelling. and I'm turning up on the video editing. So that means some things are going to have to be let go, and some things are going to have to be told no, so I can streamline the focus. Now, the conversation that me and Sean had, of course I got it. And what I just told you is just a preface to this conversation to give you more context. But here's how it went.
Even with, like, so for instance, like, even as a jack of all trades, right? Like, because I've been doing the same things, right? Like, I've been a multidisciplinary artist for as long as I can recall, and I've talked about it, you know what I'm saying? But, okay, like, you have to be able to tend to your garden, you know what I'm saying? Like, the same way a gardener can cultivate many plants and yield the fruits of many plants consistently in every season, right? You have to be able to show that with all of your multidisciplinary arts, right? So that's also about finding some sense of like creating your own rubric or your own semester, so to speak, right? Like governing your time in that way to say, okay, no, from, first quarter of the year, that's dedicated to poetry and the book and whatever, right? And I'm going to focus purely on those things. And then in the summer, I'm going to focus on the movie or this or whatever, right? And like,
so it's like there's seasons.
Exactly. That's how you can successfully divide your time, but still cultivate and nurture all of those.
And it keeps it interesting because it's like, okay, this is the season that we're in.
Exactly. And now you get the satisfaction of not really feeling bored or confined to one particular thing indefinitely.
I kind of like that. I like that concept.
What is your delegation process to yourself in those roles, right? And if you can distill that, right, then you can take that and then put somebody else. Like, as an entrepreneur, the biggest thing is like replacing yourself, right? Like you should be able to create the role, assume the role, and then hand the role off, and nothing changes as far as the quality is concerned, right? Because the structure is in place with how you've defined it, right? And then it also will take a lot of patience too, because patience and trust in others, right? Because those are leadership roles, right? And it is very easy. There's a book called Multipliers by Liz Wiseman, right? And it talks about the difference between leaders who are diminishers versus leaders who are multipliers. Because, again, just like I was saying, like, every new experience starts with being a novice. People are gonna start a job and be inexperienced. They're going to fail, right? And as a leader, you actually have to give them that room to fail. And, you can be honest with the review of it. You can say, hey, okay, I see that you put your best attempt into this, right? We have to be able to reach this level of quality, right? Like, just like keep the key focus on the non-negotiables, right? The other things, like, nah, you shouldn't have chose this color. Why? Because I like this other color better. That's superfluous.
You have to embrace who you're meant to be.
Yes. Harder than it, and I know it's harder than it sounds, right? Because like, it takes a whole lot of hard work. Trust me. And it's like thank you for at least acknowledging me for being where I'm at, and getting to the space where I do have my own space and all of that. Like, I'm telling you, last year I literally slept on the floor for an entire year at my mom's house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to weather that storm and be honest with myself and where I was in life and all of the challenges that I was facing, the shortcomings that I had that was not allowing me to be the best version of myself, right? And recognizing that, no, I have to stop coddling myself, right? And assume the role that I'm meant to play, right? And to allow myself to be the fullest version of myself, which is not who I think I currently am. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is, like, we often, like, who we feel we are today is just an amalgamation of a compilation of who we've been in the past. right? And it's so easy for us to consistently look at ourselves that way because that's what we constantly have to reflect on. But we have to identify and assume the role of who we want to be, our future selves. And then we have to live within that. And we have to guide our lives towards that, right? Which is why it requires the discipline, the consistency, right? The commitment.
Management skills.
The time management. Real talk. Absolutely. And the iterations are just representations of growth over time.
Yeah.
You know? And allowing that, but that's another big part of it, right? It's like allowing others to participate in that growth over time, right? And like putting it out there to the world. You know what I'm saying? Right? So for sure. But it's easy to let the speed of the world around you and tech and all of that stuff to make you feel like you gotta rush, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, move at your own pace. You know what I'm saying? Like do the things that you have to do that are necessary for you. Get the rest that you need. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm just like, I gotta decide what season this is gonna be, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I know, because it's like, I need to make money too. Like, I gotta get out of my mother's house. I gotta have my own car. You know, so it's like, this whatever season of artistic expression I choose has to like yield income.
It has to be lucrative. So you have to look at all of your skill sets and then look at what is the lowest hanging fruit, right?
Yeah.
And what is a service that you can provide with that lowest hanging fruit.
So when you say lowest hanging fruit, as in like,
the lowest hanging fruit would be something, I imagine, right, that is something that comes easy to you, right?
Yeah.
You don't have an extremely high overhead in order to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like you basically have everything that you need to accomplish the thing, right?
Yeah.
And the people are in demand of it in some way, shape, form, or fashion, right? Like you hear it or you see it from people time and time. You're like, wait a minute, hold on, they're asking for something that I technically know I can provide, right?
Yeah.
So those are like low-hanging fruit, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like the opportunity is right. It's right there in front of you. You just have to seize it. But like also if you find a niche within that, right? Because, you know, look at doctors, right? General doctors, they get paid pretty decently, right?
Yeah.
And anesthesia, like the doctors that do the anesthesia treatment, bank. And they do one thing. Yeah. They walk into the office and provide anesthesia and they be out. But they make bank. Yeah. Why is that? Because they're a specialist.
Yeah.
They're the only ones that know how to do that particular thing in a very specific way. You
gotta be a specialist.
Right. So you would be surprised that, like, as you start to specialize, as you say, no, I write about these particular things. No, I write poetic things. You know what I'm saying? I write for this type of stuff.
Yeah.
If you say this is what I do, then people know what to come to you for.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like, to make something lucrative, you gotta be an expert.
Exactly.
And it's like, so you just like, you're saying like, what is the lowest hanging fruit that you could be an expert in? Like, what's the easiest shit? I mean, what would be yours? I guess graphic design.
Yeah, that's like a super low hanging fruit. But like, if I'm thinking about the trajectory of my future, right? Like, I know for sure, like, I say I do music. Can I make beats? Yeah. Can I audio engineer? Yeah. Can I do all that stuff? But that's not my low-hanging fruit. If I'm thinking about music, my low-hanging fruit is the lyricism, right? Yeah. I can write. You know what I'm saying? I can come up with meaningful lyricism, right? So that's something that's a low-hanging fruit for me in the realm of music.
I know, like, I'm a poet that can perform.
You see what I'm saying? I can perform. I have stage presence, right?
Yeah.
That's low-hanging fruit. You know, technically. Now you just have to look for the opportunities, right? Yeah. You have to start connecting with people who are like, event planners. You know what I'm saying? Like, that are throwing festivals and doing all of these things. Yeah. Talent scouts. Like,
I've been tapping into the film industry to work on sets. I know taking pictures is like low hanging. Like, I do film photography.
Yeah.
That shit is dumb easy.
That is definitely a low hanging fruit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but at the same time, you have to specialize there, right? Because if you don't, they will wean you to the bottom, right? Like, it'll be so easy for them to just say, oh, well, you charge how much?
Commodity.
Well, you know what I'm saying? We know there's other photographer that can charge
do that myself.
$50, or I can do that myself. Why do we need you, and why would we pay you that much? You have to know how to articulate your value. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be able to show the value that you're articulating, right? So my boy Shan, he's a photographer, right? He's got some incredible portrait photography, right? And people know that he does incredible studio for portrait photography, right? They can ask him to do other things, but he can be like, you know what? That's not my specialty.